Okay, time for another deathmatch, double XL variety, and this evening I'm going to say this is going to get messy. The eagle eye will notice I've got a cinder map tile down here, so first one I pulled out for that is first double XL they ever did. I think so, the first double XL ever. Here you go, Bel'ial or Bel'ial. There we go, the Lord of Cinder, last of the Shadow Kings apparently. So in the sort of Cinder corner, Bel'ial. And in the other corner, also following on the Lovecraft theme somewhat, here we go, it's the Ancient One. Don't think this one has a home particularly, but yeah, there you go, the Ancient One, one of the more recent double XL enemies. There we go. So absolutely not at all the King in Yellow versus Cthulhu. But there we go. Right, this one we'll get through their abilities in a moment from the sheet here. This is gonna get messy, but yeah. So we'll have, there we go, the Ancient One versus Bel'ial. So why is it going to get messy tonight? Okay, brutal sides once again. Bel'ial, Ancient One. Both of them got endurance 4, so they can't take more than 4 wounds from each hit. Bel'ial, defensive 4, health of 55. Ancient One, defensive 3, health of 85. So a lot of health, so big health advantage to the Ancient One. Bel'ial does 8 attacks, each doing 6, so it's going to do 3 a go every time it hits. The Ancient One has 5 attacks, doing peril dice. So the Ancient One's basic raw attacks are going to do slightly less than Bel'ial's. Bel'ial hits on a 4, Ancient One on a 3. But yeah, I think the raw attacks is probably in Bel'ial's advantage on that one. But it's when you get the rest of special abilities, things start to get funky. So Bel'ial has his Shadow Magic. He casts Shadow Magic. There's an Ancient Doom I'm going to have to draw in a moment for the Ancient One. They've both got endurance 4, so they can't take more than 4 from each hit. They've both got wings which fly, which means they change who they attack each turn. They move through other models, and then Bel'ial has this ultimate skills of worlds, which at the start of each turn roll d6. On a 1 or a 2, add an ambushing threat to the fight that is 1 threat lower than normal. We'll go with low threats for this. And we'll pull them from the Cinder, there you go, Cinder threat pile, because we're on Cinder and he's Bel'ial, he's the Lord of Cinder, so he's going to draw Cinder. Yeah, seems fine, seems appropriate. On a 3 or 4 he draws darkness cards and play it. Might affect the Ancient One, probably not. Growing Dread, draw it and play it. Again, might affect the Ancient One, but probably not. But anyway, so Bel'ial is possibly 1 in every 3 turns going to be drawing more models and more allies out of the Cinder deck to drop on the table. Meanwhile, the Ancient One has got this whole Master of Reality ability, which is like a whole bunch of random stuff, which I'll go through when it comes out. But one of them is summon minions, draw a world card and add a low threat from that world as an ambush attack. So the pair of them are potentially just going to be dropping more and more and more models into a meat grinder. So we could end up with this little bit of Cinder just absolutely populated by enemies of who knows what, all mashed up. So I don't know how long this is going to take. It could be like, it could be here for like 2 hours. Well, I hope not, because I want to go to bed. But that's why I said this is going to get messy. There's then other stuff. Because it's the Lord of Cinder, Bel'ial can set the Ancient One on fire. The Ancient One has basically his sword when he attacks with it it isn't just one person. It's an arc, so it could start clearing those models out in front of it. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff here that I just don't know. Some of this stuff isn't particularly relevant to the way we do these fights. But anyway, so there you go. That's our combatants. We've got Bel'ial, Ancient One, a lot of complicated stuff. Models coming in left and right and centre. So yeah, let's see how it goes. First up, Ancient Doom. Ancient Doom. So at the start of the fight, draw an Ancient Doom card for the Ancient One. Let's have a look. We get Dreaded Return. There is a reason all living things fear the darkness beyond time and space. For the darkness is older than time, the void that all things emerge from, and to which all things must return. So as old as time itself, the Ancient One has +3 health for each growing dread card in the stack or discard pile. Okay, so when growing dreads are going to come in from either of them, because they've both got abilities, I think they can put in growing dreads. The Ancient One is going to get tougher. Well, okay. So there we go. That's our. I'll put it out. So that is our Ancient Doom. Okay. Anything else we have to do at the start of fight? No. Okay. Start of the turn. Anything we have to do at the start of turn? Yes. Bel'ial. At the start of each turn, roll d6. So Bel'ial has 5. Draw a growing dread card. Let's find the growing dread cards. Growing dread. Can't believe it. I've lost them. Where's my growing dread? Darkness. Growing dread. There we go. Too many cards for this game. Someone should do something about that. So straight off the bat, Bel'ial there having a bit of a shot in the, shooting himself in the foot by making the Ancient One have 3 extra hits. But assuming that the Ancient One is the hero for the resolution of this growing dread, is it going to be relevant? No. Dread, move the darkness forward 1 step on the death track, but it does get discarded and count for the dreaded return of the Ancient One. Okay, anything else at start of turn, start of activation, blah 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 blah. Okay, right. No, anything on the Ancient One for start of turn? No. Okay, so initiatives. Bel'ial has 6, so we'll start with Bel'ial. At the start of his activation, Shadow Magic. Oops, there you go. Shadow Magics. So Bel'ial's Shadow Magic this time around is Come Closer. The world around you seems to fall away as you become transfixed by the soulless might of the spellcaster. Release me and you will be rewarded. 1 random hero immediately takes DC corruption hits, we ignore that. If this results in mutation, the spellcaster gains 5 wounds, blah blah blah. If not, none, blah blah blah. Okay, so that basically did nothing. That Shadow Magic did nothing because we don't track corruption during these fights because that wouldn't make much sense. So that was the start of his activation. Okay. Then Bel'ial moves. Move of 12, which is enough to close the distance down, of course, onto the Ancient One there. We're now in melee distance. Off they go. 8 dice attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 6s will add burning markers. So that's a burning marker. That's a hit, and that's a hit, and that's a hit, and that's a hit. I should have said which one do I think my money's worth on. I am actually I'm going to put my money on Bel'ial. Even though it's got low hit points, I think it's going to chew through the Ancient One's hits faster than the other way around. Obviously, whatever gets summoned may completely change that, but starting from fresh, I think it is Bel'ial that wins this fight. Anyway, yeah. So that is 4 that hit. So 5 that hit, but 1 that does burning. So 5 hits, doing 6 damage each, but a defensive 3. So 5 3s, 15 damage to the Ancient One. 15 damage to the ancient one. 1, 2, 3, just from the hits. Then the burning, which is in the order. And it is, how is it? It's D3, so it is 2 burning markers. So 2 burning markers on the ancient one, like that. Okay. Just reminding myself of burning. Just make sure I get it right. Poison, burning. When a model is one or more activation, remove one of those and takes 2 wounds, ignoring defense. Yeah, I thought so. I didn't think it's not cumulative per. It is just 2 if you are burning at all. Yeah. Okay. Right. And I think that is the end of Bel'ial's go. Just looking, is there anything else that Bel'ial does? Doesn't look like there is. So, okay. Ancient one. Start of its go, doesn't really do much. It then attacks. 5 burst attack, hitting on 3 or more. So that's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right. There is a special ability on Bel'ial, which is once per turn when a hero may choose 1 critical hit against Bel'ial to ignore the key hanging around his neck, instead striking his armour. To target the key hanging around neck instead of striking his armour. Roll another to hit roll. If successful, hit the key. If failed, hit bounces away harmlessly. If successful, takes 2d6 damage regardless of any bonuses or the weapon being used. This roll may not be re-rolled with critical ignores defense and armour. However, if doubles rolled, no damage is caused, and instead the hero takes corruption hits. Blah 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 blah. So I think just because it's thematic, even though we don't really have crits, we'll treat 6s as the ancient one swinging at Bel'ial's key. Because why wouldn't you? You could try and banish the big dude. So 2 normal hits. So that's 2 peril dice. They do 5 and a 3. So the 3 does nothing. 5 does 1. Okay. So we then roll to see if this strike on the key hits it. It does. Successfully hits the key. If successful, takes 2d6 damage. Nine. That does 9 damage. Because it ignores defense and endurance. So 9 damage. I think hitting the key is the only way the ancient one's going to stand a chance, really. There you go, so 9 damage. Right, then, at the end of turn, Master of Reality, roll 2d6, consult the following chart below. The ancient one does a 9. Bolt of Corruption, 1 random hero immediately takes his d6 corruption hits. Bolt of Corruption's below, nothing happens because we don't track corruption in this fight. So that was round 1. Round 2. Start of the turn. Bel'ial, Scourge of Worlds. 2. Add an ambushing threat to the fight. That is 1 for that low and also a low threat to attack the ancient one. It's going to be okay. Oh my god, this is getting complicated. It's going to be a Flesh Stalker confrontation with 2 torture drones, which are basically flesh drones but with other things. Right, okay, bear with me one moment, I'll get out the Flesh Stalkers and drones. Okay, Stones and Flesh Stalkers, bang bang. There we go. Okay, these are on Bel'ial's team. Right, well, so if it's those three, it's 1, 2, 3. Okay. Draw a Fiendish Goals card to see what the Flesh Stalker is trying to accomplish and how to stop him. Okay. Stalker. Okay. So this particular Flesh Stalker is searching for a relic. The Flesh Stalker is searching for a powerful relic to select for his goal. Select a random hero, the ancient one, that has one or more artifacts, then a random artifact, more that doesn't. If heroes have no artifacts, discard and draw a different fiendish goal. Okay. Next goal is collecting a test subject. The Flesh Stalker is searching for a very particular test subject, and it may be you. Select a random hero, ancient one, as the test target. The Flesh Stalker will automatically target the test target every turn. If the test target is knocked out, ignoring revive tokens, the Flesh Stalker kidnaps and immediately withdraws, taking the target hero with them. At the start of the next non-fight turn, the test target is dumped back through a portal into enemy space adjacent. No hero dealing. Okay. Blah. For this competition, the Flesh Stalker has health 10 plus 3 per hero, so has much less health. Oh, plus 10 for it, so 23. So it's got a lot less health on the Flesh Stalker, and if defeated, it retreats. Okay. Right. So to start the turn, Flesh Stalker has an initiative of 2d6. Its initiative therefore is 9, which is like 12 or something stupid for this turn because of ambush. At the start of each turn, draw 1 Tools of Terror for the Flesh Stalker to use this turn. So its Tool of Terror is a Fear Caster. Terror is a place with unspeakable terror. They must make a willpower save or lose an attack. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay, so it will move up, moving the one drone out of the way anyway, to get at the ancient one. This is the Flesh Stalker. The Flesh Stalker with attack, combat 6. The ancient one. Okay, to hit is 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 that will hit. Damage is 4. And 6 is doing double damage. Okay. So those do 4 damage each, which is 1 once you've gone through armor. So that's 3. That does 8 less 2 is, so less 3 is 5. It's got endurance 4, so that's 4 plus 3 is 7. So it does 7 damage in total. Oh, I forgot the burning. Let's do another 2 damage. Okay, so that was the Flesh Stalker's attack kit. Then Shadow Shifts. If you remember that from the other death matches, potentially quite dangerous. D8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 that way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, right. 8. Swaps places with Bel'ial. Very helpful. Work it out in a moment where depending where 8. And then 1 back, swap places with Bel'ial again, helpful. 6, and then moves itself away from the ancient one, so it ends up like that. Okay, it didn't go through the ancient one, so it doesn't do any extra damage on that. So that's the Flesh Stalker. Next in initiative is the drones, because they've got the ambush, so they will move. Those two come up like that. They are same as normal flesh drones, except they do bleeding. Okay. So 2 of them. Their damage. Damage roll equal to their 2 hit roll. Okay. So there you go, combat 4. So that's 8 attacks in total from the flesh drones. And they hit on 3 or more, so that's a no and that's a no. The 2 that hit with a 3 bounce off the armour because they're only doing 3 damage. 2 4s will deal 2. And then these will do 2 each, that's another 4. And 2 bleeding. So they're on fire and bleeding. We're taking 32 damage already. Okay. That was a flesh stretch. Right, then Bel'ial has his own go. Shadow magic. Firestorm. Every hero on the same, a swirling storm of fire and hate erupts all around you as gouts of maddening flame burst up from beneath the floor. Every hero on the same or adjacent map tile as the spellcaster must make an agility 5 or more test to dodge from the gouts of fire erupting all around. If successful, the hero may heal d6 sanity damage. If failed, immediately takes d6 sanity damage, ignoring willpower, and while in the Caverns of Sindar, gains d3 burning markers. So is the Ancient One nimble enough to avoid getting some burning markers? It is. It dodges out of the way. Well done, Ancient One. Then Bel'ial swings. 8 attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, no 6s this time. 4 normal hits. So 4 sets of 6 minus 3 is 4. Sets of 3 is 12. Oops. Up to 42, effective 48. Right. Finally, the Ancient One gets a go. Burns for 2. Who does it attack? Because it changes target. So we've got 4 different enemies. So on a 1 or 2 it's Bel'ial, 3 or 4 the Flesh Stalker. So yeah, and then anything else it's a drone. So it hits. So it goes for a drone. Doesn't really have to move anywhere to do that. So it just turns to face a drone a bit. Smacks it. Okay, which is at this juncture, I suppose we have to decide which one. So odds that one, even that one, because it matters for the arc. Odds it's that one. So for the arc, in the same arc facing, it's going to hit. I think it's going to hit pretty much everybody. He says. Got an arc facing anyway. If I recall correctly, it's going to hit a lot of them. Yeah, we'll say so. Can't find any of the rules for it quickly, but I believe the arc facing is going to be everybody. Oh sorry, everybody. So it hits. So it's aiming at that one. No, so it doesn't hit Bel'ial or the other one, does it? It hits that one and the Flesh Stalker. Get it right. So that one and the Flesh Stalker. So swings at the torture drone, and so that is 5 attacks, hitting on 3s. That is 5 attacks that hit, and doing 5 sets of peril dice. I think it's possibly going to explode. Well, it does have endurance 3, I suppose. So 2, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8. Yep, that has killed that drone. The drone is dead. Then does a hit against yeah, then effectively does 5 hits to the Flesh Stalker. So 5 of these again. So nothing, nothing. 1, 2. Only does 2 damage to the Flesh Stalker because it's very high defense. Okay. End of the turn. Ancient One's special ability. What are we going to get now? 7. Void Form. The Ancient One shifts before your eyes, gaining +1 initiative until the end of the fight. Okay. So that was round 2. Round 3. So start of the turn, Bel'ial. Rolls a d6. Draw a darkness card. If I get one now that powers up aliens or voids, that'd be quite amusing. So what has Bel'ial done? Bel'ial has drawn a darkness card that says ambush attack, 1 Night Terror. Poor old Ancient One is getting absolutely ganged up. Right, let's find the Night Terror. So those are them Night Terrors, okay. There is my Night Terror. Gets ambushed by a Night Terror. Amongst all his other woes. Find stats for Night Terror. Night Terrors. Okay. Right. Then, who's got initiative? So let's see what the Flesh Stalker's initiative is. Its initiative is a 9. So it will be the Flesh Stalker's. Flesh Stalker to go first. Its tool of terror this time round is Flesh Shears. Horror hits from it do sanity damage. Blah 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 blah. Not too worried. So it can't actually get there because all the models in the way are bigger than it. So I guess we just move straight to Shadow Shift. Well, not bigger, I mean they're the same size because of the Night Terrors now and then. But yeah, so Shadow Shift, and it goes 8 back to 1. And then typical, swaps itself with the Night Terror. So it's now in the way of the Night Terror trying to get to the Ancient One. Never mind. Right, that was that. Initiative 6. You've got the drone or the Bel'ial. Let's do the drone first because it's probably easiest. Combat 4. Okay, only got 2 hits, but that one does nothing because it bounced off the armour. That one does 6 damage, so it does another 3. and applies bleeding. What are we on now? We're on 51 plus 9, we're on 60, so 25 to go. Then Bel'ial, 8 dice, hitting on 4s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, hits, damage 6, which is then going to be 3, so 4 3s is 12 again. There we go. 63 plus 9, 72. 72. Then the ancient one, because its initiative is 5. Who does it attack? Changes target. We've got 4, so 1, 2 is Bel'ial, 3, 4 is the Night Terror, 5, 6 is the Flesh Stalker, and 7, 8 is the drone. 3. So it's going to go for the Night Terror, which means it's going to push these fellas out of the way to get there. So just side steps, and has to step forward as well. Well, it's going to have to get there, otherwise it's not going to get past. Very large models, double XLs even. And then we'll hit the we'll hit all the small ones because they're all within that arc. So let's go for the Night Terror. What was it again? 5. Hitting on 3 or more. Only the 1 that hit. Don't know, 2 that hits. So 2 barrel dice. And only the 1. Then that's 2 hits. So that's 2 hits on the Flesh Stalker. There's 2 hits on the Flesh Drone. There's 1, and then endurance 3, so that's just 4. Cool. Right. Then the Night Terror. 4 dice. Ancient one. Hitting on 5 or more, so that's 2. Each of these, however, is doubled because they have claws. So that's 4 hits, doing 6, which is reduced by 3, is another 12. Alright, let's count this up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 75 plus 3 bleedings is 84. And they've got another 3 there. So 84 out of 88. Very nearly dead, but not quite. End of the turn. Ancient one, special ability. Number 8. Time Shatter. Every hero takes D6 wounds and sanity, ignoring defense and willpower. So they're all going to take D6s. So D6 to the Night Terrors. Does another +4. D6 to the Flesh Drones. They can only take 3 anyway. So takes 3. Nearly kill them. D6 to the Flesh Stalker. Takes 2. And of course D6 to Bel'ial. Takes 5. Right. Round 4. Start of the turn. Bel'ial, what does he do? Bel'ial draws a Darkness card. Darkness card is a Hunger to Feed. All undead enemies are now +1 combat for every 3 full wounds a target had on them at the start of the attack. We haven't got any undead, so we don't need to worry about that. What is the initiative of the Flesh Stalker this turn? It's 8. What is its tool? It is the Fearcaster again. So if the ancient one is still next to it at the end of the turn, it might have problems. But anyway, initiative 8, Fleshstalker. So attacks for 6 attacks. It's standing next to the ancient one. Sixes do double damage, so that's a double damage. Hit, 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 hit. I think this is probably it now. Does 4 damage, so 1 damage per normal hit. So that's 4. And then that does double, which is 8 less 3, which is 5. It's got endurance 4, so it does 4 again. What are we up to there now? We're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 83 in damage, but 9 from bleeding. So 92. There we go. Dead. Dead ancient one. It was a bit of a one-sided affair in the end. I feel because the Bel'ial managed to get out all these extra enemies to help basically pile it on, and the ancient one didn't manage to get any extra out on his side or do any sort of really sort of max AoE to clear that off the field. It was all a bit of a pile on. The poor ancient one got absolutely ganged up on. But in this particular deathmatch, perhaps the luck, was a little in their favour. But yes, the winner is the king in. Sorry, Bel'ial. There we go.